or anything, something. Huh. Give me something. Riveting. It's riveting. It's always riveting. Us with a special. It was the special. What about you? I don't know before.
Take this one out.
And the farmers, I think, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So if you.
Well, two of the times.
Yeah, it's a little cheap. Doesn't know if he's coming or going most of the time. Really?
Do something.
Right.
Be in charge. I don't get self-serve and charge.
I mean, I'm just worried that, that just stuff.
Yeah, well, that.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. He's got.
Party foul, stand up.
It's interesting. Is it? Oh, you're seven? It's. Yeah. Ready? Let's go. Welcome everyone to the Township Council, Monday, April 27, 2026. This meeting is now called to order. Councilwoman Hablitz, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you read the notice of public?
Sure. Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. A notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on January 14, 2026. A copy of the notice was sent to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on the Township website at littlefallsnj.gov. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, at this time, call the roll.
Councilmember Patel? Councilmember Murphy?
Present.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Present.
Council President Scoba?
Present. At this time, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of March 23rd, 2026?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Hablitz. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery? Council President Scoba?
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of April 13th, 2026?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Patel, second by Councilman Vanchery. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz? Councilmember Vanchery?
Yeah.
Council President Scoba?
Yes. Councilman Patel, since this is your committee, you'd like to introduce the Clifton Health Department?
Sure. They're going to be here tonight. Well, we have our health officer, John Beagle and Jen and the team. And not only are they going to report on what they do normally, which is just the annual health report, but this year we did something different. We did a rapid health assessment for Little Falls. So they're going to explain what that is and report the findings of that, which is geared towards helping the Public Health Committee and the Clifton Health Department kind of ascertain what we can do to better help the residents in Little Falls. So,
Thank you.
John?
Thank you. What an introduction.
So good evening and thank you for allowing the health department to speak tonight. First, I would like to thank the mayor, council president and council for allowing us to serve the city, the township for another 3 years. Last year, it was a 3-year renewal. So thank you. We really love the township of Little Falls and we provide a lot of valuable services and gotten to know the public there here, and it's really great interaction. So thank you again for that. One of the things I just want to mention, Jennifer will speak a little more about it, but is our Little Falls Public Health Committee. We really got going last year. And the committee is made up of residents that you'll see their names on the annual report, and Councilwoman Patel and a few of the Clifton Health Department members. And we meet and we discuss public health issues. Last year, a lot of it was talking about measles and the importance of people getting their children vaccinated and themselves vaccinated. Make sure if you don't know your status, you should really you can go to the doctor, go get a blood test, and you can get your status for measles. So that's one of the things that we discussed. But the Councilwoman Patel said we did a rapid community health assessment, and Jennifer will go into that in a little more detail. But as far as our annual report, we handed it out. It will be on social media. We'll have some copies at the city clerk's office if anybody wants it. It breaks down what we have done in the township of Little Falls in 2025. My letter, I'm going to spare you. I'm not going to read it. So that's but one of the departments that we have that serves the township of Little Falls is the Animal Control Division. We are very active. Animal control is just like the police and fire. It's 24/7 and every day of the year. We work very, very closely with our police department on whether it be deer, wildlife, animal cruelty. So we work very closely with our police department. So thank you for that, police department. We also probably responded to over 100 complaints. Could be animal cruelty, could be wildlife, could be stray dogs, and sometimes if cats are injured. And we have the shelter that is located in the city of Clifton. So if anybody's looking to adopt, please reach out. We have a lot of great animals. We have a lot of great cats and dogs, and sometimes we have some other things too. So snakes, all those good things. So we've had a rabies clinic. Last year we hold one every year, and we had over 60 residents that came. You're able to get your license, and actually there's one coming up. I guess Councilwoman Patel, you're going to mention that. Another division that works very closely in the township is our environmental health. We have over 120 retail food establishments, so we'll inspect any store that has food. We'll inspect them at least once a year, and we also do some of our higher risk stores twice a year. I have to say, overall, the township has a great retail food establishment inspection record. So sometimes they do fail time to time, but overall the satisfactory ratings are prominent. We also do body art, which is tattooing, kennels, which we don't have any, but also massage. So, and then we do septic systems. So not everyone in the township is hooked up to sanitary, and they have their own septic system, and the health department has to inspect if they're failing or if there's anything new that needs to get installed. And the last one I'm going to talk about is the nursing division. The nursing division, we did over 214 communicable disease investigations. So that means that our nurses receive reports from a laboratory regarding different types of communicable diseases. There's over 80 different communicable diseases that are reportable right away. Some are immediate, some can be reported within a few days, but we reach out to those individuals. And luckily, we didn't have any type of measles cases in Little Falls or any contacts, but that is a very time-consuming process to contact individuals. And then, you kind of go, I know nobody wants to think back of the pandemic, but some of the same rules apply to people that have been exposed to certain communicable diseases. And we also do our vaccination clinics. We have a vaccine for children program, which it is free for any child that does not have insurance. So we've had a few Little Falls residents to come. We also have a dental clinic that any child that does not have dental insurance can come to our dental clinic. So it's a lot of different services, and we are glad to provide those services. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to Kimberly Finkler, who is one of our health educators, and she's going to talk about health education.
Hi, everyone. Is this? Oh, I'm messing it up. Okay. Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving a few updates with health education and social services. Last year we attended various outreach events, and this year we're going to continue going to the concerts in the park and the farmers markets. Also last year as well, we did a lot of school programs, including Wellness Wednesdays, teaching students how to manage stress and different grounding techniques to use while they're in school. And then we also provided hand washing education and escape the vape, which we did at school one. Also, we're still continuing with our bloodborne pathogens training. We just finished Little Falls Fire last week. And then we've held a few community presentations, and our two strongest partners have been John Thoreau Cancer Center, which they focus on cancer prevention. We've had presentations that focus on breast cancer, colorectal, and skin cancer. And with that too, we try to make it kind of fun to get the community out there. So we've had them kind of make it a mocktail, like paint and sip, where the community comes out. They're able to enjoy time together, paint like a little canvas, and then we give the presentation. So they're kind of learning about health and having a nice night out as well. We're continuing with our vaping inspections. We are giving out information about the THC law, which has changed. So we are going to places, smoke shops, and still doing our inspections for flavored vapes and sale to a minor, and also giving out that information about THC. And then we've also this year have held quite a few programs at the Little Falls Civic Center. And we just finished a 6-week program there with the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources. And we're also on May 7th going to be having a free blood pressure screening there with the nurses at the health department. So still some good stuff coming up.
So I want to thank John Pace also for helping us with those programs at the Civic Center. Right now, Jennifer will just give you a brief update on the rapid community health assessment.
Good evening. So in the late fall, we embarked on the first rapid community health assessment for the Township of Little Falls. A rapid community health assessment is a process for quickly collecting community insights about public health to inform future program design. A rapid health assessment provides community leaders with an understanding of the health determinants, outcomes, and concerns of the population. Just to give a couple of facts, demographics about the Township of Little Falls, there's a population of roughly 14,800 residents here in the township. However, approximately 5,000 of those residents are students who live on campus at Montclair State University. Median household income for Little Falls fares better than the rest of the county and the state, and therefore the township is considered to be a middle to upper income suburban community. The population is predominantly white, with 75.4% of residents reporting that race. And there's about a 16.1% of the population identifies as Hispanic or Latino. The township also fares better than the rest of the county and the state in terms of highest level of education. with approximately 32.1% of residents reporting having attained a bachelor's degree. And about 2.5% of residents have reported living without health insurance, which is a lot lower than the rest of the county and the state. So they're faring, this township is faring well in many areas across the board in terms of demographics. So in terms of the data collection that we used for this rapid health assessment, we used a mixed methods approach where we collected both primary and secondary data. The primary data that we collected, it's called, I don't know if those of you who may be involved in social science research, but it's a community participatory research that we conducted where we engaged the community members themselves. We conducted 5 key informant interviews with community leaders. Some people in this room were interviewed. And then we also conducted 2 focus groups. We had a nice focus group with some of your senior residents at the Civic Center. And then we also conducted a focus group with some PTA parents from schools 2 and 3. Recruitment was challenging. We did intend on conducting more focus groups, but unfortunately we had to cancel some due to lack of interest. However, the qualitative data that we collected from these groups helped identify emerging themes and contextual factors influencing health within the community. So just to go over a few themes that were collected through the primary data, the focus groups and the key informant interviews, there were some themes that emerged across the board, one being some communication gaps. So some residents felt that despite the fact that there are an abundance of available services to township residents, some people didn't know about them or know how to access them. Stakeholders that we interviewed consistently called for some more low-tech direct communication methods, such as direct mailings, phone calls, and in-person reminders, rather than relying on online platform use, which is very popular in this day and age. We also found that although there is access to quality resources, there sometimes is challenges with follow-through. So some challenges include time constraints, work schedules, transportation, and caregiver burden, particularly for children and seniors who depend on others to facilitate appointments. Some of our interviewees also talked about social isolation and issues with mental well-being. Social isolation emerged as an important factor affecting health, particularly among seniors and other vulnerable groups. Another emergent theme was also strains on parents and caregivers. Parents and caregivers reported facing ongoing challenges managing time, navigating complex healthcare systems, and balancing work with caregiving responsibilities. So those were the emergent themes that we found. And then we do have some recommendations moving forward and some action steps that we can take here in the township. One being improving communication and outreach. And like I just mentioned, using multiple challenges. I know we really rely on digital means, but not everybody has access to the internet. Not everybody knows how to use technology. So we may have to look for different avenues to get our messages and our information out. Somebody also actually recommended community ambassadors to act as local liaisons to reach populations that are more difficult to reach. Another recommendation is to support follow-through on healthcare, so strengthen the coordination between primary care, schools, and community organizations to help residents complete referrals and to make sure that they are taking care of their preventive care needs. Addressing parental and caregiver burden was another recommendation. So to expand upon school and community-based support to help people that are facing those burdens, specifically when it comes to mental health as well. Another recommendation is to enhance system coordination, to improve communication and collaboration across health, education, and municipal systems to reduce this feeling of fragmentation. We talk a lot about promoting the social determinants of health and expanding intergenerational and community-based programs to reduce social isolation and improve mental well-being. And lastly is to leverage the community assets that we have here in the township. We found that this community has quite an abundance of assets, which is a wonderful positive thing. You have strong collaboration between the municipality and schools. Your schools act as community hubs, and they provide a lot of support to families and students. It looks as though your programs and services that you offer to your residents are highly valued, which is awesome, especially in the times that we're living in right now with there's a lot going on, but it looks like your library, your recreation, and your senior programs are really well received by your residents. It looks like your families, for the most part, are engaged, especially your seniors. It looks like you have a very vibrant senior program at the Civic Center. And it looks like you have a great participation among your parents with your PTAs, your rec programs, your sports programs. And it looks like that there is definitely a commitment to aging in place. Your seniors want to remain here in Little Falls, and they have highlighted opportunities for transportation, home support, and local health services. So everybody should have a copy of the rapid health assessment. If you don't have one, let us know. We can get you that. We're going to post the assessment on your website along with the annual report, so that will be available to your residents and your stakeholders. We'll also leave some copies of the assessment here at Town Hall. And if you need any more hard copies of those, we can get them to you. We do have a Masters of Public Health intern who'll be starting within the next few weeks. She is going to work on collecting some more secondary data. Secondary data is data that we collect from other sources, such as the Census Bureau, the American Community Survey, or statistics from the New Jersey Department of Health. She's going to work to see if we can collect some more of that data. 15,000 residents is considered to be a small population. So it is more difficult to collect that level of municipal data. However, things have definitely gotten better over the last decade. And so we think we might be able to find some more of that data. So we may add an addendum to this report, which will have some more secondary data for you. So does anybody have any questions?
To the floor, Councilman Vanchery.
One thing to consider, because I know you always get that, hey, I don't have internet or I'm not online checking things. When the mayor sends out like a quarterly tax bill, maybe just putting a little information about the health department, have the website, but also put the phone number. So if people do want to connect with you and get information, they can at least do that if they can't go on the internet.
Right.
Usually
Yep.
an option, because then you could always just maybe mail them some information or set up some time to meet up with them. I'd also take advantage of the marquee down by the rec center, maybe work with Tyler and Frankie.
Okay.
Rec department to put some information up there.
Great.
It's like learn more, or just follow the social handles, that type of thing. This way, that's something that people see all the time.
Right,
especially
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
just some thoughts to
Thank you.
consider.
Yeah, the committee did talk the other night. We had a meeting and we spoke about putting information in the tax handout that goes out to all residents.
Thank you for your in-depth report and joining us
Thank
this evening. We appreciate your hard work that you do for this township. Thank you.
Would love to.
Yeah. Mayor Damiano, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. This evening, we have a couple of items to discuss under my report, including a proclamation for Arbor Day. But by way of updates, First and foremost, I have been working diligently with our municipal CFO and auditor. And I know that last week the budget was, initial presentation was provided to the municipality. But over the past couple of weeks, we were able to actually continue to review additional items in the budget where we thought we might be able to save taxpayers some funds. And it appears as though the annual increase to the average home may actually be $85 lower than we anticipated during the last meeting. And it looks like the average increase to a home in Little Falls on the average assessed home here will be about $39 per month as far as the municipal assessment goes. So an increase of under $40 a month to the average home here in town. So that was a lot of work over the past couple of weeks. And I'm proud to report that the original anticipated numbers may be slightly lower, and we should be prepared to introduce the budget at the next meeting, and it should be disseminated to council members and the committee for their review in anticipation of that. Next, for anybody who has been driving around town, especially our downtown area, the downtown parking lot where the former PNC Bank used to be is now, I will say, almost completed. It has finally been paved, which was a major step in making it appear as though it is essentially done. The only things left at this point are the installation of the electric vehicle chargers, which will be located on the southernmost part of the lot there. When you first pull in to your right, the spaces have been marked with green paint, and you will see the EV charging emblem placed inside them. I'm also happy to report that the original drafts of the parking spaces anticipated a certain number of spaces, and we were actually able to increase that by 7 additional spaces over and above what the original plans called for, because we were able to make the spaces 9 feet wide, which is a standard throughout New Jersey now. And originally the plans were anticipating 10-foot spaces. So we were able to pick up 7 additional spaces in that lot over and above what we had originally anticipated. So happy that we were able to do that. The final piece of the puzzle will be the streetlights that PSE&G is installing in the lot. And of the 13 streetlights that are being installed, 12 have already been installed. We are waiting on lucky number 13 to be installed. They can then be energized, and the lot will be lit up during the nighttime when it gets a little bit darker out. So happy that that is almost there. We are almost at the finish line and looking forward to that being actually fully completed in the very near future. Next, Company 4, we're happy to report, and for those of you that don't know them as company numbers, but locations, Company 4, our fire department located at the top of Long Hill Road right before Houston, received its new Engine 4 truck last Friday. We are happy to have that finally received by the municipality after, Councilman, was it almost 2 years? After 3 years after it was originally funded and designed by the Company 4 members. It has finally been delivered. Unfortunately, the pipeline for delivery on fire trucks is quite delayed, as it is with ambulances and a lot of other emergency vehicles. But we're happy to finally have that received. I know over the last week, the gold leafing and lettering has been going onto the truck. And I noticed as I drove by the other day that it is looking very, very good. I know Company 4 is looking to put the final touches on that truck, but we are thrilled that it has finally been provided to the municipality. It is certainly an asset that this municipality will have, hopefully for another, 20 plus years to be used here to keep us all safe in town with our volunteer fire department. So next, I have our Arbor Day proclamation before I get into the agenda items and the items that are on for this evening for vote by this council. So first, as far as Arbor Day, I have a proclamation to read. And it reads, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are renewable resources, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, whenever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, James Belford Damiano, Mayor of the Township of Little Falls, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the Township of Little Falls. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. And I'm proud to report that on actual Arbor Day, April 24th, 2026, with the assistance of our Girl Scouts and a little bit from our DPW, who were instrumental in digging the holes, we were able to plant 2 new trees in Wilmore Park along the Morris Canal pathway to provide additional shade for anybody who's utilizing that area and strolling through our park. So thank you to everyone who made that possible, along with our Shade Tree Committee, who is instrumental in continuing to ensure that our township remains green. I'm also proud to report that we were once again named a Tree City this year, and the signs around town are being updated to include the additional year of Tree City recognition that the municipality has received. Last but not least, Council President, maybe the less exciting part of my report this evening, is our 3 items or resolutions, with the exception of our bill list and our under new business, our ordinance. I'll address each of those and then I'll open it to questions from the council. They are somewhat simple. The first is the state has now required that each municipality appoint what is called a municipal housing liaison. We have done so. We have had someone somewhat acting in that role for a period of time, and it happens to be our municipal clerk, Cynthia Kraus, who is joining this meeting as well as she does every meeting. But she has indicated that she is willing to take on the official title of Municipal Housing Liaison for the oversight and administration of Township's affordable housing program to enforce and meet the requirements under the statutes. That is Resolution A. Any questions from the council? No. Next is Resolution B. Resolution B is a shared service agreement that we are entering into with the Borough of Elmwood Park. UCC fire subcode officials and fire inspectors are somewhat at a short throughout the state of New Jersey. And there's more municipalities than there are individuals willing to work in this role. And we're fortunate to have our building code official, James D. Maria, who runs our building department, who is certified to perform this role, who is willing to assist Elmwood Park with their UCC fire subcode official and inspector services. This is a benefit to both him and the municipality, because in addition to Elmwood Park paying us for their services, Mr. DiMaria will receive a stipend for this. So it's a benefit to each of us, and it will not impact his normal working hours here in the municipality. So we are lucky to be able to have him able to do that. Again, a benefit to both us as well as Elmwood Park and Mr. DiMaria. So that is Resolution B. Any questions from this council? All right, Resolution C. Resolution C is a bid and award of a contract for the rehabilitation of a home on Warren Street. This is something that I have discussed at council meetings and encouraged residents to participate in the past. I've discussed it with this council in the past, but this individual resident has qualified for what is $22,000 in repairs to their home. And the criteria for them are that your income be below a certain threshold, and that these funds be utilized to make improvements to heating and electrical systems, roofs, plumbing systems within your home, foundations, windows and insulation, and a number of other things that may be qualified or that you may be qualified for under this improvement program. The beauty of this is that there is a very small match that is required by the individual homeowner to receive these grant funding. And again, this individual will be receiving $22,000 towards the total obligation of $23,995,000, meaning that they're going to have nearly $24,000 worth of repairs to their home with only having to pay under $2,000 towards that entire amount. This is actually funded from our Affordable Housing Trust Fund that we have here in Little Falls. That is something that developers are required to contribute to as they build, homeowners are required to contribute to as they make improvements to their properties or build additional homes. These are funds that become available for individuals who might not have the financial wherewithal to make improvements to their homes that allow them to be more fuel efficient, more energy efficient, have better heating and cooling in their homes, and to live more comfortably, including the roof and other things. While that addresses Resolution C, I just want to touch upon this just for one more second before I open it to the council to allow individuals in town who may be tuned in or watch this at another point to understand what the requirements are of this program. And it is based upon the income of the household, depending on the number of individuals living within the home. And for a household of one, the total income to the household has to be under $71,280,000. There are various thresholds as you continue to go up. I'll jump to a household of four, where there needs to be total income of $101,760,000. And a household that may have 8 individuals in it needs to have an household income not exceeding $134,400. So for those individuals who are living in this municipality on fixed incomes that are having a difficult time making repairs to their home or improvements to their home, and may have an income that doesn't support their ability to do it, this is a program that is available. This does not impact any Little Falls taxpayers' pockets by funding this program. These are funds that are available for individuals through the municipality to make these types of improvements. Again, maximum award up to $22,000 with a very small component to be met by the individual homeowners. And again, this individual received the maximum amount and their only out of pocket will actually be $1,995 to get almost $24,000 worth of improvements to their home. So I encourage individuals, there is a link to our website about Little Falls Home Improvement Program. Please review it if you may qualify. These are funds that the municipality would be happy to have you spend on your home to make these improvements. Again, not impacting the tax base, not impacting the taxpayers, but allows individuals to make repairs to their homes that may qualify. Again, extremely necessary ones, typically heat, electric, foundations, insulation, things like that. Are there any questions from the council on Resolution C? All right, Resolution D is the bill list, which we see every single meeting, which leads me to the final item that I will discuss this evening, unless there's any questions from the council, which is ordinance number 1542. And what we have noticed, and certainly something that myself and this council has heard a lot about over the past couple of years, is the density of developments in our downtown. And as part of our 4th round prospective need obligations that we discussed in the 4th round housing element and fair share plan, something that we have identified as a municipality is not only the requirement to limit the number of units that may be built in our immediate downtown by number of parking spaces, but also to limit it further by acreage in units per acre. And I say that because we've seen some development in our downtown recently that has had something to the tune of 64 units built on almost 3/4 of an acre, which substantially increases the amount of units. We are now looking to put a cap on the maximum density of 50 dwelling units per acre in our Subdistrict B and Subdistrict C, which is our downtown areas, which will severely limit the number of units that a developer will be permitted to build in our downtown. And in addition to being limited by the number of parking spaces that they're able to provide, even if they are able to provide additional parking spaces over and above what we may see on surface level, they will be limited to the number of units that they will be able to build by adding this maximum density of 50 units. So this will further tailor the amount of development that will be permitted and the size and the density of developments in our downtown, and it is being proposed for introduction by this council this evening. Any questions on 1542? All right, that's about enough from me this evening, Council President, so I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilwoman Havelitz?
Thank you, Council President. So I'd like to thank the mayor for the Arbor Day proclamation tonight. I'd also like to thank again the DPW, the Shade Tree Commission, and our Girl Scouts for the Arbor Day planting. We did have two beautiful rosebud trees planted at Wilmore Park in what I might like to call Girl Scout Row. They've already planted another two trees there, so now there's four total that have been from Shade Tree and the Girl Scouts. And we also raised our Tree City flag for the first time. That is also at Wilmore Park. The library updates, the library is looking for help with their community garden. They received a grant about 2 years ago for a community garden that they got started, and they just received the second installation of a grant for their community garden, and they are looking for volunteers and organizations to help plant and grow vegetables. You can go to the library website to sign up. They also have this week their Royal Tea Club on Wednesday, 4/29, from 11 to 12 p.m. for tea and all things royal. You can also register at the library website if you'd like to participate. And as always, on the library website, as well as your social media pages, there's more information about more events that are going on. Our Earth Day Shred event took place this Saturday. It was a very busy morning. Thank you to the mayor and Councilman Vanchery for joining me there. As Councilman Vanchery got there first, before 8:45, there was already 15 cars. So it's always a great event for paper shredding and electronic recycling. And then lastly, the farmers market will start in just 3 short weeks at our new location, which is the Little Falls train station. We're looking for community groups and event vendors to join us. If anyone is interested, they can reach out to us at LF Farmers Market at littlefallsnj.gov. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Patel.
Thank you, Council President. I want to thank John, Kim, and Jen for being here tonight and presenting both the annual report and the rapid community health assessment. I know I say this, but we're just very lucky to be able to work with Clifton Health Department. They go above and beyond for the residents of Little Falls, and I think everyone really does. You know, if you get a chance, if you see them, they're at one of the events, just go up and speak to them, say thank you. We as a committee had been discussing how to do different things for our residents in town, and there was a lot of gaps in what we were trying to pursue. The health department came up with the idea of the rapid community health assessment, took initiative and completed it within months, right? Just so that we could have the information that we need as a committee to better help our residents. Public health is a vital role, plays a vital role in protecting the community. And so the committee is open to new members. We encourage more residents to join us. Our next meeting is going to be Monday, May 4th at 3:45 at the Civic Center. So we hope to see new members. Just a few events. So tomorrow they are having what Kim spoke about, another mocktail paint and sip at the Clifton Library. That's going to be at 6 p.m. And you'll get to paint and enjoy mocktails while enjoying an engaging presentation on mental health, stress, and self-care. Wednesday, April 29th, the Clifton Health Department will be here for their rabies clinic. It's going to be at the DPW, and that's from 5 to 7 p.m. So anyone that needs those services, they could go there. On Wednesday, May 6th, at the Clifton Health Department between 2 and 4, they are offering free foot screenings. It's just to assess foot health, comfort, movement, and to prevent any future foot issues. And then finally, on Thursday, May 7th, from 10:30 to 11:30, they're doing free blood pressure screenings at the Little Falls Civic Center. No registration is required. You know, walk-ins are welcome. So I really hope residents take advantage of all the programs and services that the health department is offering to us. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Patel. Councilman Murphy.
Thank you, Council President. I'd also like to thank the Clifton Health Department for their presentation tonight. You can definitely tell a lot of time and effort went into this, so it's good to be able to have and review this data. It's not often that you get praise for your health department, but somehow John and his team always seems to do it when I'm out in the community. I don't know how, but somehow John and his team always get praise, and I just want to thank them. And they always somehow figure out how to get it done. Also, just to piggyback off what the mayor said, just want to thank the mayor and council members for coming up to the Great Notch Firehouse for the delivery of the new fire truck. For the residents that don't know, that's replacing a 36-year-old engine. So hopefully this one runs just as long. And wishing it good luck. Things aren't always good, made as good as they were back then. So hopefully we get as much time out of this one as we did that one. On top of that, we do have a domestic violence awareness committee meeting May 5th, Tuesday. We are back in person, no longer on Zoom. So we're in the upstairs room of Town Hall at 7 p.m. for those who are looking to attend. That's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. I also echo the work that the Clifton Health Department does. John Beagle and his team put a lot of time and effort. They also work in Clifton and do this, but they make sure that Little Falls gets the same treatment that they do in Clifton. So just always appreciate their update. And like my colleague said, we're lucky to have them really managing this because they do such great work. So kudos to them. I also want to say thanks to all the residents. This past weekend, the Tri-Town committee had our can shake Friday night as well as Saturday. To a degree, as Councilwoman Patel and I can attest, we were soaked on Saturday in the rain. I just want to thank all the residents that helped support the drive as we start to plan the holiday party later this year. We appreciated it. And also want to thank our friends from Woodland Park that jumped in on Saturday to fill in some slots that we had at Little Falls. So more to come, of course, with some other events later this year, but just thankful for all the support that we had from the town this past weekend. Another reminder too is, as we get ready to finish up the month of April, get ready for May, all the fun stuff that we start planning with the farmers market, but also we have the concert on May 22nd, as well as the parade on May 23rd, starting to pull everything together, as I mentioned previously. And, Chief and Deputy Chief at some point in the next couple of weeks, plan to kind of sit down and go over the plan. Because me, I get crazy when it comes time to shutting the road down and making sure everything goes off without a hitch. So just looking forward to pulling all that together for that weekend here in town. Lastly, I do want to take a moment to over the weekend, obviously we're in Little Falls, but Woodland Park and Total are part of the PV area. If you didn't know, former Councilman Joseph Spinelli passed away over the weekend. Joe was a councilman for over 21 years in Woodland Park. And he was also a teacher in Woodland Park for over 36 years. So just want to, pass on my condolences to his family. Of course, our friends in Woodland Park as well. We're thinking of them because if you knew Joe, he was just one of those great guys that always had something to tell you, whether it was advice or just joking around with you. He was one of those elected officials you enjoyed being around. So just wanted to say some good words for Joe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Vanchery. Council.
Thank you, Council President. Just to very quickly piggyback on the mayor's comments with regard to the municipal housing liaison resolution and the introduction of ordinance 1542. These are also outflows in essence of our affordable housing obligations. And Little Falls continues to comply, and we continue to have immunity, unlike some other communities.
Thank you, Councilor. Deputy Chief Pressing.
President, you have the two reports there for the month of March. Just some highlights on that. We had 19 arrests. 2 of those 19 arrests were lawful handguns. So officers are out there being proactive. And in the last 45 days now, we have 3 handguns that have been removed from the roadways. Traffic safety section got over 280 selective enforcement details, radar details, over 800 motor vehicle stops. First, you'd be happy. Communications Bureau and almost 3,000 calls for service they've handled just the month of March. So we're out there, continue our selective enforcements, our sustained enforcements under grants. Going to get busier with the spring, summer planning. All got it.
Thank you, Deputy Chief, for the fine work your department does along with Chief Pro. Thank you. May 1st is our senior spring fling, 12 o'clock at the Civic Center. Our new policy is that we have a cutoff at 80. The Civic Center can handle much more, and it's only fair to those that come that they have an enjoyable experience. So the cutoff is at 80. Currently, we have 75 seniors attending. If you would like to attend, call the rec, and they will put you on the list. We're going to have food by ShopRite, DJ Angelo, and some nice, delicious ice cream from the creamery. So that's May 1st at 12. My colleagues, if you have available time to come and help serve, I'd appreciate it. That's 12 to 3 this May 1st. Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only.
So move.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Havelitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. The floor is now open. See no one come before us in the council chambers, and I don't think no one is raising their hand in the chat. Am I correct? Thank you. Have a motion to close the public?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Patel, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Havelitz,
Second.
second by Councilman Patel. Call the roll.
Councilmember Patel? Councilmember Murphy? Councilmember Havelitz? Councilmember Vanchery? Council President Scoba.
Yes. Madam Clerk, ordinance 1542, please.
Introduction of ordinance number 1542, an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the Township of Little Falls amending the downtown redevelopment plan pursuant to the township's adopted fourth round housing element and fair share plan as permitted by the local redevelopment and housing law NJSA 40A:12A-1 with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for May 18th, 2026.
Thank you. Have a motion to introduce 1542. Moved by Councilman Patel, second by Councilwoman Havelitz. Madam Clerk, call the roll to introduce 1542.
Councilmember Patel? Councilmember Murphy? Councilmember Havelitz? Councilmember Vanchery? Council President Scoba.
Yes. Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for general matters.
So move.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilman Murphy. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The floor is now open. See no one come before us in the council chambers. I do not see no hands up. Am I correct? Have a motion to close the public comments. Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilwoman Havelitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I want to thank Madam Clerk, our business administrator, Stephanie, for helping me put this agenda together, just so the public understands. The agendas are put together Thursday before the meeting. We have a pre-meeting agenda at 2 o'clock, and all these items are discussed. And then Madam Clerk facilitates putting the agenda out. Have a motion to adjourn this meeting. Moved by Councilman Patel, second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor? All those opposed? This meeting is now closed.